The Brookdale Jersey Blues men's team getting ready to take on the Atlantic Cape Community College Buccaneers, coming up live tonight here on Brookdale Television from the Robert J. Collins Arena in Lincroft, New York.
Jump shot uses the window for two. Drives inside and gets it to go. Oh, what a move by the freshman. And now welcome back inside the Collins Arena as we get set for the second game of our doubleheader as the Jersey Blues host Atlantic Cape. Brian Goudsward, Tim Catalfamo back here with you. Brookdale looking to rebound after a couple of tough losses on the road. They played their last three away from the Collins Arena, but back home where they are unbeaten at 8-0. And Tim, as we get to our key players, the one for Brookdale, he's been the guy most of the way through the second half of the season, and that, of course, is Sky Harris.
Yeah, Sky Harris has been unbelievable the last couple of games. He's gotten a tremendous amount of points. He's very strong. One of the sophomore leaders on this team that we've mentioned before. So he's someone that they definitely have to keep an eye on, and he'll definitely be on the floor tonight competing at a very high level. So look for Brookdale to go to him pretty early on to kind of set the tone. And then on the other side for Atlantic Cape, you're going to have to keep an eye on Miles Carter, number 25. He's the guy who you're going to have to really watch if you're Atlantic Cape. The Buccaneers really look to him predominantly for offense. He averages just under 18 points a game, Miles Carter does. And for a team that has lost 9 in a row in the Bucks, they're going to have a lot of offense, particularly early on in this game, to not only keep pace with Brookdale.
And Miles Carter comes in averaging just under 20 points per game. He is the high man for this Buccaneer team. Atlantic Cape comes in with a record of 5-12. They have dropped their last 5 in a row. It is the second meeting of the season between the Jersey Blues and the Atlantic Cape Buccaneers. We'll have all the action from the Collins Arena coming up on Brookdale TV.
Planning a large-scale event or conference? Consider Brookdale Community College and its versatile Collins Arena. The Collins Arena is the premier venue for all kinds of corporate and community events, live concerts and celebrity happenings, trade shows and expositions, sporting events and tournaments. The Collins Arena has countless layout options to meet your needs. Bring your next event to life at the Collins Arena at Brookdale Community College. Go to brookdalecc.edu/events and start planning your next event now.
Looking for quality higher education at an affordable price? You'll find it at Brookdale Community College. With locations in Lincroft, Freehold, Long Branch, Neptune, Hazlitt, and Wall, and online options that let you study anywhere. At Brookdale, you can train for a new career, earn a diploma, and transfer to a 4-year school hassle-free. Brookdale has small classes and approachable faculty, an honors program, academic support centers, a full student life experience, and nationally ranked sports teams. Visit brookdalecc.edu and start your success story today.
With both my sons entering college, I knew financial aid was going to help. I never thought I would qualify too. I enrolled in Brookdale's culinary program and discovered a world of talent I never knew I had. After graduation, I landed an externship with David Burke's Fromagerie, and they hired me a month later. My name is Debbie Doran, and I came to Brookdale to learn a new skill. I never imagined it would take me this far.
Minds can achieve anything. We make sure they get to college. Federal student aid provides more than $150 billion in grants, loans, and work-study funds to make college possible for anyone with the mind to get there. Because if given the chance, minds will do great things. Federal Student Aid, proud sponsor of the American Mind. Learn more about money for college at studentaid.gov.
The meditation series will strengthen your spirit with peace and balance. Intro to Zen Meditation provides a foundation of the basic principles of Zen instruction, sitting, walking, and breathing techniques allowing one's mind to rest. Allowing peace within helps develop powerful ways to invoke inner harmony and radiate peace whenever you are in need, no matter where you are. Healing Energy Meditations provides tools to help gently calm the mind to find the quiet place within. Go to brookdalecc.edu and click on Continuing Education, then Lifelong Learning.
For nearly 50 years, Brookdale graduates have been shattering expectations. They transfer to Georgetown and Columbia University. They work at NASA, call Major League Baseball games, and defeat celebrity chefs.
Back inside the Collins Arena, Brian Goudsworth, Tim Catalfamo with you on Brookdale TV. Getting set for action, second game of our doubleheader. As Atlantic Cape comes in here, road record of 2-5, and Brookdale's record at home unbeaten, 8-0. And back from a 3-game road trip, there is the starting lineups for the Jersey Blues. They'll go with Kerry Kirkwood, Kyle Bradshaw, Dante Whipple makes his first start of the year, Jordan Little, and rounded out with Sky Harris. And for Atlantic Cape, it's Austin Smith, Javon Parrish, Chris Bobo, our key player Miles Carter, and Najee Wimbish. So Brookdale's starting 5 being introduced in front of us right now. And the second meeting of the season between these two teams. And Atlantic Cape actually came out on top in the first one. It was a close game, but they beat Brookdale by a final count of 90-89 back on December the 8th. So just about set for the opening tip as the Brookdale starters make their way out near midcourt, with Whipple as the new addition to the starting lineup, making his first start. And the officials tonight are Dick Hecker, Darren Bradley, and DeJuan Jones. So it's Jordan Little for Brookdale, Miles Carter, the leading scorer for Atlantic Cape, set to take the opening tip as soon as the official is ready to send us into action. Now, on the final game of the month of January, only 7 games left after this one, and the Jersey Blues control the opening tip. Wright nearly gave it away by stepping out of bounds. And it is James Wright in the starting lineup, so we had a little misinformation on that. Harris gets a touchdown low. Harris double teamed, back out. Whipple fires for 3. That's an air ball. Kirkwood trying to save it, unable to, and possession over to the Bucks.
Yeah, Coach Chuzak must have changed what we had just talked to him about just a few moments ago. He had originally told us that he was going to start Kyle Bradshaw. Instead, James Wright is in his place. And Dante Whipple, someone that we have not seen in a starting rotation, I don't think this year at all, starting for the Jersey Blues to start this game.
And here is Carter's first attempt is off. Offensive rebound to Austin Smith. And a second chance for Atlantic Cape. And the jumper is good to start the scoring. It's Javon Parrish. So Parrish, one of 3 Bucks to average double figures. Kirkwood for 3, and Kerry knocks it down. Now the Jersey Blues off to a 1-point advantage, 3-2 with a minute gone by. Carter, and forcing the tie-up was Little. Possession error will favor Atlantic Cape. They'll inbound underneath. And there's Paul Chizek, who told us he's a little bit tired after all, his team playing 3 straight on the road. The last 2 were in Maryland. So he says he's a little bit tired. His team, though, very much ready for this game tonight. Carter, pump fake on Whipple. And now Whipple tightens up the defense. Carter, jab step, jumper, way off, an air ball, and possession back to the Jersey Blues.
And that's the type of defense that Coach Chuzak had spoken about that he wants. He wants tight on Carter. Miles Carter, arguably the best player on this team for Atlantic Cape. Coach Chuzak wants to shut him down. You saw Whipple there guarding him very, very closely, forced him into a bad shot.
Little sets the screen, and Whipple and Little not on the same page as the bounce pass goes out of bounds.
Now, something that we're going to have to watch, Coach Chuzak said earlier that he's going to do a lot of swapping. He's going to do a lot of switching, a lot of substitutions. Whenever one of his players, either on offense or defense, doesn't perform immediately, they're coming out of the game. So watch that this evening.
3 on the way, in and out for Chris Bobo. Offensive rebound, Smith. He gets double teamed, and Wright forces the steal, able to keep himself in bounds. And now Kirkwood advances it across midcourt. Lob pass inside. Whipple all in one motion, but right there to take it away was Austin Smith. Ahead of the floor, Bobo to the rim. Oh, the reverse layup off the glass. What a move by Chris Bobo.
Yeah, just nice in transition. Chris Bobo, again, Brookdale was not back on defense, and I think that was one of the reasons why you saw Bobo have such a great drive to the basket. He had to adjust, but still a nice shot.
Little will take the jumper. It's short, and it's picked up by Bobo. Atlantic Cape with the early 1-point lead. On the drive, Carter can't get it to go, but he is fouled. And so Miles Carter, for the first time, will go to the line. And Carter was our impact player coming in, and one of the reasons for that was his performance last time Atlantic Cape met Brookdale, when Carter scored 40 points. But what did Paul Chizek tell us before the game? He said, we're not letting him get to 10 points in this game. 1 out of 2 from the line for the freshman out of Hamilton. Kirkwood will set up the offense for the Jersey Blues. High screen, Little. Kirkwood gives it up. Whipple drives in off the glass. It is good, and the foul. So Whipple getting a rare start and makes his presence felt with a nice and-one opportunity. And there you get a look at Marvin Graham. He is the head coach for Atlantic Cape. Second season. Last year his team 13-12. They had a winning season. This year, though, it will be a losing campaign for the Buccaneers, as they started the season 4-4 through the first 8 games, but their season's kind of gone off the rails of late. They've lost 8 of their last 9. Long strides to the rim in the finish. It's Carter.
Yeah, Whipple was guarding Carter very tightly, but Carter took his time, didn't get flustered, and was able to drive it to the basket.
Kirkwood can't answer. It was a 3. And back the other way comes Atlantic Cape, and a whistle. As going toward the sideline was Javon Parrish. I'm not sure if he got shaken up or what the situation was there.
Yeah, Carter's got some blood on his jersey, so the officials are going to check it. In fact, it actually looks like he's got a bloody nose, actually. I didn't see that for Miles, but that's going to temporarily put him on the sideline. So we'll see if Atlantic Cape can try to continue.
Out for the time being, as the first substitution for the Bucks is Robert Dow. Comes in off the bench. This is a team that only has 7 players on their roster. Nice spin move, and scoring on the inside is Parrish. Now a good start for Atlantic Cape on the road. They have an early 3-point advantage. Brookdale, a little bit of a slow start offensively. Nice look inside, and Harris unable to convert. Long rebound out to Parrish. Fast break opportunity for the Bucks. Parrish gives it up. Wimbish, a wild attempt. Offensive rebound, and the putback is good for Parrish.
Right now, Atlantic Cape just playing with a lot of energy and is knocking down their shots.
Whipple misses. Parrish the rebound, and Wright knocks it out of bounds, as it's caught on the fly by Hernandez, waiting to check in. And so now here comes a host of changes. Zach Olakani, Jordan Hernandez are in, and Wright, along with Whipple, to the Brookdale bench. Slow start for the Jersey Blues in a 5-point hole. Just over 4 minutes gone by. So Carter, who was getting tended to on the sideline, back in, defended by Olakani. Bobo, pump fake. Foul line jumper, rimming, no. Knocked out of bounds, and it's staying with Atlantic Cape.
Yeah, we've already seen a couple of substitutions. Coach Chuzak, as I said, is going to rotate his players. At least that's what he told us pre-game, very frequently, particularly to try to keep up with this Atlantic Cape offense.
Carter way outside. Screen from Bobo. Carter's jumper inside the arc is good.
Right now, Carter is really, really tough to close out on. He's knocking down his shots. Again, he's back in the game after having that bloody nose.
Harris, high post, puts it up and in. Sky Harris, who's working on 10 consecutive games in double-figure scoring. He has his first field goal tonight. 13-8 in favor of Atlantic Cape. Carter gives it up. Bobo for three. Way off. Offensive rebound. Parrish spinning. Couldn't finish it. Harris able to muscle away the rebound. And a foul is called. And this will be on the Buccaneers.
Yeah, nice job by Harris holding on to that ball underneath the basket. He had about 2 or 3 different players going for that. It's easy to get flustered and lose track of actually just doing what you need to do, holding the ball. But he did a nice job there. Of course, a foul on Atlantic Cape, but still, nice job by Harris tracking down that rebound. I'm not seeing Brookdale grabbing a whole lot of offensive rebounds in this game. Atlantic Cape is having some opportunities and is being able to make second and third chance opportunities on the offensive side of the floor work for them right now. That's the difference in this game.
And the foul is called on Bobo, so that's his first. As we had a timeout. Just over 5 minutes gone by, and Brookdale trailing by 5.
You mentioned Sky Harris, Brian, just a moment ago. He had 16 points in the last game that Brookdale played at Montgomery College down in Maryland. And in that game, it was a tight game all the way to the final minute. Of course, Brookdale lost by 7 in that. But Sky Harris, we mentioned he's one of the impact players. He's been someone who's been a very large presence on the offensive end. Brookdale's now down by 5. Look for them to go to him to try to get some points on the board.
Jordan Hernandez is now in. Hernandez the shake and bake, but the jumper way short. And it's out of bounds back to Atlantic Cape. So Brookdale back home after their last 3 on the road. And you mentioned the last game, the 60-53 loss at Montgomery. But the previous game against Howard, they lost in overtime. Traveling is the call on Carter.
Yeah, and in that game against Howard, Coach Chizak said they just didn't make their shots late in the game. It was an overtime game. It was a game that Coach Chizak felt they should have won. On the other end, against the Montgomery game, Coach Chizak just doesn't feel they played well at all, his team did. So it's really kind of a mixed batch on the road. Of course, they won the other road game at Rowan College, which was pretty handily an easy win. But the other two kind of a mixed bag where they should have won one, and then the other one against Montgomery, they just felt, in Coach Chizak's mind, they did not play well enough to be able to obviously get the W.
Now Kerry Kirkwood drawing the last foul. Second personal on Chris Bobo. And Kirkwood's free throw is good. Bradshaw and Ringel are checking into the game. Harris and Little out. In the last game that Brookdale played, the 60-53 loss, they were tied up 53 all, just over a minute left. And the game got away in the final minute. Turned into a Jersey Blue loss, so they're looking to snap a mini 2-game losing streak. Trailing by 3 in the early going tonight. Nice move on the inside, but a travel. Austin Smith, one too many steps. Kirkwood brings it ahead. Olakani, hard drive, and the floater is good. Olakani was in double figures in the last game for Brookdale, put up 10 points. Now coming off the bench most of the time as it's knocked out of bounds, and the Jersey Blues will take possession. Brookdale's 5 on the floor is Olakani, Kirkwood, Ringel, Hernandez, and Bradshaw. The miss on the inside. Olakani, the follow-up is good.
Yeah, nice effort underneath there by Olakani, following his shot and then putting the ball back up and in. Now that's the first lead that Brookdale's had in a few minutes here, able to overtake Atlantic Cape for the moment.
Bobo, pump fake on Ringel, drives in, won't go with the right hand, able to get his own rebound, but Bradshaw is there to force the tie-up, and that gives the Jersey Blues the basketball. So Brookdale's now up to 3rd place in the region as they only trail Passaic and Ocean. With not a lot of games left, Kirkwood the drive couldn't finish. Pass ahead from Dow to Parrish, and he finishes with the left hand.
Yeah, just not very good transition defense there for Brookdale. Kerry Kirkwood fell down at the other end, and then for the rest of the Jersey Blues, they just didn't get back on offense. Atlantic Cape took advantage of that and was able to score.
Olakani, the step back, he's got it. Nice move to shake the defender and drill the outside jumper. So Brookdale takes the lead back. The jumper on the other end by Carter is no. And Kirkwood brings it back the other way. Hernandez plows into the defender. And did they call it a block or a charge? Offensive foul. And it looked to be a pretty clear call as Javon Parrish took the hit.
Yeah, I've said this a couple times on the games that we've done. Anytime you lower your shoulder as a player, which Jordan Hernandez did inadvertently when you're driving to the basket, whether the player on defense is set or not, it's automatically going to be an offensive foul. You cannot lower your shoulder and get away with a call like that.
Dow swings it inside. Baseline for Smith, the jump step. Parrish couldn't finish, and it's rebounded by Gatling. Kirkwood ahead for Olakani. Olakani right to the rim and a hard foul as he hit the ground. Gets assisted up and looks to be okay, and he'll get set to shoot two. So the foul goes against Austin Smith.
We're starting to see both of these two teams drive to the basket more aggressively, starting to really drive to the basket, try to draw off contact, try to draw fouls, and we've seen that the last couple of possessions on both sides of the floor.
And the first free throw is good for Olakani. Brookdale, a team that gets to the free throw line a lot. And early on, they've gotten there a handful of times in the first 8 minutes and change. And after trailing by around 5 in the first couple of minutes, the Jersey Blues now with a 3-point lead, 18-15. Dow puts it up, no good on a 3-point attempt, and Kirkwood the other way. Ahead is Bradshaw, and he gets held by Dow.
Yeah, Kyle Bradshaw's a freshman. We talked about many times during this season. He's been someone who's stepped up and has played fairly well for Brookdale off the bench. He's even started a couple of games this year.
Inbounds for Gatling. Kirkwood will take the jumper over Parrish off the front rim. Gatling able to fly in for the offensive rebound, but couldn't get it to go on the interior. So a couple of chances, but Brookdale comes up empty on the last possession. Carter, nice look inside, and Parrish rolling to the rim for two.
Atlantic Cape is utilizing their Brookdale's man-to-man defense and finding holes in it and getting into the basket, getting easy shots underneath the bucket.
Olakani steps into the jumper, that's good. Olakani with 6 points in the early going. Carter's bounce pass inside, rejected by Ringel. It was Parrish on the try down deep. Bradshaw able to give it to Kirkwood, bumped on the outside. And Kerry will set it up. Kirkwood, the crossover, step back, in and out, and the rebound tracked down by Smith. Carter gets picked up by Olakani. Carter's jumper, yes.
Miles Carter, I mean, what more can you say? The guy's been almost unstoppable in this game. And Brookdale's tried to limit the amount of times he's gotten the ball, but sometimes when you have such a good shooter, even if you get a hand in their face, they're still able to knock that down. That's what Miles Carter is so tough to defend.
Olakani not that time, offensive rebound. Gatling putback is good as he got it to go off the glass. And so Gatling, who's now a regular part of the rotation for the Jersey Blues, didn't see a lot of him early in the season, only around the 5th game that he's been dressed, but he has an impact when he's in the game. As Parrish had it poked away, able to get it back, too strong. Smith, the offensive rebound, blocked again by Ringel. 2 blocks for him, trying to save it out of bounds. But possession will stay with Atlantic Cape. As they make a couple of changes, Deshaun Hendricks is in, along with Najee Winbish returning for the Bucks. The inbounder is Bobo. And now Carter will get it set up. Atlantic Cape coming off their worst loss of the season. Saturday against Union, they fell 123 to 94. Shot clock down to 5. Bobo puts it on the floor. Gives it up. Shot clock at 1. Carter able to heave it up, but I'm surprised that wasn't a shot clock violation as the shot didn't hit the rim. Jersey blue basketball nonetheless. Keyshawn Kirkwood is in, and he's calling out the signals for Brookdale. Bradshaw, baseline drive, can't spin it up and in, out of bounds, back to Atlantic Cape.
And I want to go back to that last offensive possession for Atlantic Cape. That was a really nice job by Brookdale holding the full 30 seconds. That was just great defense. That was the reason why Atlantic Cape, you saw Miles Carter had to chuck up a quick 3 there as the shot clock was expiring, because for once Brookdale was actually able to hold Atlantic County away and on the perimeter. Really, they weren't able to drive inside. That's something that they're going to need more of. I know Brookdale's got a 3-point lead, but so far in this game, I've given the advantage to Atlantic Cape with how they're able to get inside and get to the basket.
So Carter just went to the bench in a substitution. Parrish, isolation against Kirkwood. Now he drives toward the rim and gets the floater. Javon Parrish has been in the middle of everything for the Buccaneers to start the game. Brookdale with a 1-point lead. Olakani off the mark from 2, and it's knocked out of bounds. Last touch, Jersey Blues. Harris and Ringel are back in. And we'll see who is going to make their way to the bench as Wright comes in to make it a 3rd. Olakani, Bradshaw, Ringel to the bench. About 8 minutes left to go first half. Close game so far, as Atlantic Cape, who came in struggling, a record of just 5-12, but they have held their own on the road thus far. Wimbish to the corner. Bobo, he's got it. It's a 3. Chris Bobo averaging 16.5 points per game. He's only been a part of action for the last 4 games. Little answers back in the paint with the bucket. But Bobo's had a big impact for Atlantic Cape since he has joined this team. And we are now tied up 24 apiece. Wimbish, the spin, the jumper, too strong. Rebound Gatling, Wright leaking out in the fast break. But Kirkwood will give it for Little. No one in front of him, and he throws it down.
Yeah, just not very good transition defense there by Atlantic Cape. Now Brookdale starting to push the ball a little bit more up the floor and is catching Atlantic Cape off guard. And that's why you saw Little there able to throw it down with 2 hands.
And Paul Chisek, as you get a look at him there, and he told us his team was going to play big-time defense in this game. And at the first sight of a little bit of a defensive lapse, he said the substitution was going to come faster than you could blink.
But I'll be honest with you, Brian, I have not seen too many substitutions, not as many as I was expecting so far in this game. We've seen a couple of defensive sets that have fallen apart, and while Coach Chisek has made good on that promise to substitute, I haven't seen him been doing it as much as I thought he was going to, particularly early on in this first half.
Parrish was fouled hard, and he will step to the line for the Bucks. 59% free throw shooter, and no good on the first one. As a team, Atlantic Cape, 62% free throw shooting team. Parrish, a freshman out of Egg Harbor Township, and he misses on a pair. The rebound to Little. Kirkwood pushing in transition. Harris halfway down and out on a 3. Gatling goes back up strong and puts it in.
Nice job by Gatling. That's what you got to do when you get the rebound. A lot of people hesitate, try to back it out. Sometimes underneath the basket, you just got to go ahead and try to put it back up and in.
Doe misses it short. Brookdale with a 4-point lead. Feed the post. Little, the nice spin around Wimbish. And Wimbish commits the personal. Before Little could get a shot off, he probably looked to throw it down.
Yeah, and Wimbish has got to be careful. That's his third personal, Brian, and we've mentioned that Atlantic Cape doesn't have a tremendous amount of players on the bench, so they have to be careful they don't run into foul trouble early on here in the first half.
And check that it's actually Bobo who has 3 personal fouls. As he picked up the last one inside, Parrish gets double teamed. Back outside, Wimbish over Kirkwood, way off the mark. And Gatling trying the acrobatic save. Little keeps it in bounds. And possession is with the Jersey Blues. Kirkwood quickly ahead. Wright driving baseline. And he gets hacked on his way to the rim. In the act, and Wright to shoot 2. The foul is on Deshaun Hendricks. And that's the 7th team foul for the Buccaneers.
Yeah, now almost a nice block there by Wimbish, but I think that it's a good call. Wimbish is not going to be charged with a foul, but as you mentioned, Brian, it's going to be Hendricks with that personal, which makes sense because Hendricks was right underneath Wright as he was going to the basket.
1 out of 2 from the line for Wright. And Brookdale with a 5-point lead. Carter all the way to the rim for 2. Miles Carter just has a really good all-around offensive game and had a season high. The 40 points he scored in the last meeting, that was his best total all year. But he's had a big offensive year. Gatling the up and under, able to follow and put it home.
That's the second time now we've seen Gatling follow his shot and put it in. That's what Brookdale needs to do. They got to follow their shots. We talked about how good this team is rebounding-wise. They're going to have to continue to do more of that because right now Atlantic Cape is so fast on the offensive end. Brookdale's going to need every single bucket to count.
Hendricks had it poked away. Brookdale in transition. Kirkwood, the lay-in is good. That is when the Jersey Blues are at their best, when they can force turnovers on one end and turn defense into offense. And that time, Kirkwood, Keyshawn, the beneficiary. 7-point Brookdale lead. Nice look inside. Carter off the glass, no. Rebound Harris. Ahead of the floor is Wright. Lay-in is good, plus the foul. What execution on that fast break. The ball didn't even hit the ground as 3 players touched it, and it's and 1 for James Wright.
And what we've seen the last few minutes is that Brookdale has been able to not only grab the rebound and prevent Atlantic Cape from getting any second or third chance opportunities, but then has been able to turn around and push the ball up the floor very, very effortlessly, very quickly. We mentioned many times that that's what Coach Cusack likes to do. It's a type of offense that he likes to run, that up-tempo offense. So right now, Brookdale, the last few minutes, has really come out really strong, and I think that's why you see Coach Graham take a timeout, because I think he senses that Brookdale's really kind of settling into this back-and-forth paced game, this high-tempo offense, and right now the difference is they're making their shots. So that's one of the reasons I think Coach Graham's going to take that timeout.
And Brookdale, who trailed by as many 5 in the first 5 minutes of this game, has now opened up a 9-point lead. We'll take a quick break right now on Brookdale TV.
Planning a large-scale event or conference? Consider Brookdale Community College and its versatile Collins Arena. The Collins Arena is the premier venue for all kinds of corporate and community events. Live concerts and celebrity happenings, trade shows and expositions, sporting events and tournaments. The Collins Arena has countless layout options to meet your needs. Bring your next event to life at the Collins Arena at Brookdale Community College. Go to brookdalecc.edu/events and start planning your next event now.
Brian Goudsward, Tim Catalfamo, the rest of our Brookdale TV crew here in the second game of our doubleheader. And the Jersey Blues, after trailing by 5 to start, have now opened up their largest lead at 9. And it's James Wright at the line looking to convert on a three-point play. And he is unable to. Offensive rebound a little. The putback is off, and the rebound in traffic is taken by Carter. We'll hit the 4-minute mark of this first half. Carter slows it down for the Bucks. Defended by Kirkwood. And now it's Austin Smith. Kick out, work it around. Carter's pass is picked off by Gatling. Right, three-pointer, high arcing shot. Off the mark, long rebound to Hendricks, leaking out ahead of the floor, count it, and one, Najee Winbish. And it started on the other end with the nice full-court pass. Winbish a chance for three.
Just not very good. I've said this, probably sound like a broken record, but both of these two teams tonight have struggled with transition defense. One of the problems that you have with an up-tempo game, particularly with the way that Brookdale likes to run their offense and the way Atlantic Cape likes to run their offense, is you have these fast break opportunities, and if you're not prepared for it or ready for it, you're going to have opportunities like you just saw where players get down the other end of the floor, the defense is not ready, as you see a timeout there by Sky Harris, which was lucky, he was down on one knee, but you have plays like that where the entire team is not back on defense, and it really leads to opportunities for fouls and trouble because the other team is able to lay it in easily at the other end.
So Brookdale takes another timeout, down at 3:36 left in this first half. We'll be right back.
Looking for quality higher education at an affordable price? You'll find it at Brookdale Community College, with locations in Lincroft, Freehold, Long Branch, Neptune, Hazlitt, and Wall, and online options that let you study anywhere. At Brookdale, you can train for a new career, earn a diploma, and transfer to a 4-year school hassle-free. Brookdale has small classes and approachable faculty, an honors program, academic support centers, a full student life experience, and nationally ranked sports teams. Visit brookdalecc.edu and start your success story today.
Back to the Collins Arena, home of the Jersey Blues, and it has been a great place for Brookdale to play this season. A record of 8-0. They're under 500 in all other games away from the Collins Arena, but continue to be dominant here. Wright misses on the runner. Little gets stripped of the ball, but a foul is called. And it's just tough to block out the 6'9" Jordan Little. Such a big impact on the offensive glass, and he is at the line for the Jersey Blues. Little coming off a double-double in his last game, had 12 points, 10 rebounds. The one negative, though, 0 of 7 from the free throw line.
Yeah, Little comes into this game historically not a great free throw shooter, only averaging 50% from the line. But, yeah, definitely they needed his help in the last game against Montgomery. And late in that game, missing 7 foul shots, 0 for 7 from the line, as you mentioned, Brian. That's tough in a very close game.
Carter fires, it's a 3, short, and the rebound is snatched by Little. Kirkwood sizing up Hendricks, takes him off the dribble. Scoop layup, no, but a foul. Quick move and aggressive by Keyshawn Kirkwood, going hard to the rim. And he is the next Jersey Blue to go to the line. Foul is called. Dow picks up his second. As you see him reach in there.
Yeah, I like the aggressiveness by Kirkwood. In fact, the entire Brookdale team has really started to, the last few possessions, drive to the basket more and draw some fouls. Sometimes when you have so much up-tempo offense, it's actually good to try to draw some fouls to slow the tempo down so you can catch your breath.
Now, Kirkwood splits a pair from the line. Brookdale 37, Atlantic Cape 29. Under 3 minutes to go now in the first half. Double team comes on Hendricks. 12 to shoot for the Bucks. Feed the post and Smith. They collapse on him. Smith trying to feed it down low. Harris able to get a piece of it, and Brookdale gets the steal. Little in the post. Defender goes down as the sideline wanted an offensive foul. but no foul is called. Instead, Sky Harris draws the Atlantic Cape foul, and he'll go to the line.
Yeah, it looked like Wimbish just kind of flopped at the other end. So I think it was a good no call by the officials. But nice job by Harris. Again, another offensive rebound.
Two defenders there on that last shot by Harris. And the foul goes on Wimbish. It's his second. Brookdale's now in the double bonus as 10 team fouls have been picked up on Atlantic Cape. And the Jersey Blues now with their largest lead of the night. It's 9. Come up on 2 minutes to go in the first half.
I think
High
Miles.
screen comes from Smith. Carter drives in, nice look inside, swatted by Gatling. Terrific defensive play by Brookdale. Wright trying to push the tempo, but the Buccaneers get back in transition. And now Sean Kirkwood will back it up to set it up. Loosely defended by Hendricks. Kirkwood, it's a 3. Halfway down and out, rebound Smith. Smith, the feed inside, cutting to the rim was Dow. He missed it. Rebound Kirkwood. Keyshawn pushing back the other way, and now we'll back it out. Harris cross-court pass. Wright, one dribble, jumper. He's got it. James Wright, it was such a big part of what Brookdale did early in the season offensively. And he went through a stretch where he had a concussion, wasn't as big of a factor as Atlantic Cape turns it over. But he had a couple of 18-point games on Brookdale's last road trip, and they need him along with Sky Harris to lead the charge offensively.
Yeah, particularly with the way that he's been playing the last couple games. As you mentioned, Brian, he's kind of picked up back where he was before he had that concussion. But, yeah, along with Sky Harris, and I'd even throw Jordan Little and Matt Ringel in there to boot. Those guys are really critical to offense for this Brookdale team. And if even one of them is having a bad day, the team usually struggles. So all of them really have to be on their game in order for Brookdale to really play full 100% as a team.
Harris getting a breather right now. Olakani's shot off the rim. Offensive rebound. Strong move by Ringel. Matt Ringel keeping it alive and putting it in on the second chance. That's a 13-point Brookdale lead as Dow gets bumped on the outside. And the call will go on James Wright. 15 foul against Brookdale. Second against Wright. And Sky Harris was on the bench for all of, let's say, 20 seconds. So he's back in. Wright, who picked up the foul, sits. Under a minute to go now, first half. And it's Brookdale with the double-figure lead. Smith sets the high screen. Wimbish defended by Kirkwood. Dow going behind the back. His shot way short. Rebound is to Gatling. Shot clock now turned off. Olakani, the drive, switching hands to finish it. Off the glass for Zach. So Olakani didn't have any interest in holding for a final shot. Able to take it right to the rim. Final 7 seconds now. Steal by Olakani, picked up by Gatling. 3 seconds left. Harris gets it off and hits. At the buzzer, Sky Harris gets the bank shot to go. And Brookdale closes the first half in great fashion as they now have a 17-point lead. It's Brookdale 46 and Atlantic Cape 29. And you know, one thing that we've seen with Brookdale, some games, even their best performances, they haven't gotten off to the best of starts. That was the case again in this game, but once they go into that mode where they can't be stopped, it's hard to take them out of that rhythm.
Yeah, I think Atlantic Cape's energy early on threw Brookdale off their game just a little bit. I don't think they were expecting them to come out with so much high-tempo offense, so much energy. And for the first couple of minutes, it was kind of back and forth. There was a lot of clashing going on because both the two teams were trying to show so much energy, and I don't think it was really working for Brookdale. But once they kind of settled in, Atlantic Cape committed some team fouls, some personal fouls. Brookdale went to the free throw line. I think that's when they really started to settle in. So for this team, like I said, let's not forget, Atlantic Cape beat Brookdale 90-89 early on in the season. So this was definitely going to be a tough game, but so far they've settled in. They're still using up-tempo offense, but one thing that Brookdale's doing really well is driving to the basket and then getting guys like Gatling, Sky Harris, Jordan Little to get offensive rebounds and not just get them, but then be able to turn them into points. So everything's going really well for Brookdale in this first half.
And Brookdale looking to make it 9 consecutive home wins this season. Right now 8-0 and a 17-point lead as we have hit the halftime break here at the Collins Arena. We'll take a break right now and be back for the start of the second half on the other side.
Hi, I'm Ed O'Neill. I'm head of the architecture program at Brookdale Community College. The architecture program at Brookdale Community College is a 2-year program, and what we do is prepare you for transfer to a 5-year program, which is at the baccalaureate level.
Hi, my name is Anthony Scalise, and I was an architecture student at Brookdale Community College.
My name is Pete Kozelski, and I was an architecture student at Brookdale Community College.
What was actually great about Brookdale for me is that I actually met my now business partner, Pete. We did meet at Brookdale. We were both students here. We developed a friendship, which was great. You know, we kind of helped each other in school throughout. And who knew that, you know, a few years later, we would be business partners and practicing the architecture that we were just learning. So yeah, for me, I think you look back and you really say, wow, you know, that was something special.
The associate degree program at Brookdale is fairly unique. There are only one other program in the state of New Jersey like it. And our program really focuses on the first 2 years. So we mirror the first 2 years of a 5-year program's curriculum. I think our facilities, our attention to personal student needs far exceed what a university can do because we're smaller. We're more intimate. We have more one-on-one student interaction with faculty, learning assistants, and outside professionals.
My name is Nicole Boris, and I'm an architectural graduate from Brookdale Community College. The facilities were really great. We each got our own spot. We got our tables, the computers were great. We had a lot of printers. The teachers definitely introduced us to a lot of different technology aspects in terms of programs. So a lot of schools now are embracing the technology, and we got to learn different software such as Maya, Rhino, Grasshopper. We got to learn the process of 3D printing. So if you make a model on the computer, you can actually print it out on a machine. It's keeping us updated with what the rest of the schools are doing. So it definitely prepared us.
We start them out by doing drawings and building models, and sometimes those models become full scale. We do things with special projects, and we do things digitally so that in the computer you can walk into a virtual world and see what that's going to be like. And again, we take people out to projects all the time, explaining the process of concept through construction, and you can actually walk through and say, take you from the digital walkthrough to an actual walkthrough of the same building and see what the effects are.
Hi, my name is Matt Lita, and I am a graduate of the architecture program at Brookdale.
My name is Jason Joseph, and I'm a graduate at the Brookdale Architectural Program.
There's definitely a lot more freedom with everybody, including the professor, and that's what made it great, because we would create this family that would essentially go on trips. So they weren't necessarily class trips. It was kind of like a family trip. Like we would be going to New York just to go see any of the buildings. Yeah. We just went and we had a great time, but we were also able to experience the buildings, and that's what architecture is. You're experiencing the building, how the building affects you as a person on the human scale.
We have a great transfer record with a lot of different schools. Last year we had students accepted to, I think, 12 or 13 different colleges and universities throughout the country. We had students accepted to schools in California, in Florida, in the Midwest, in the Northeast, all over the country, and our students are sprinkled all over the place. And the great thing about it is they keep coming back and telling us about their experiences, which really helps us guide students as to where to transfer, what might be a better location for them, given their particular interests, desires, and talents.
My future plans after Brookdale or to transfer to a four-year school and get my degree. I would like to get my master's and see where it goes from there.
I actually had a great transfer process because I went right, we did 2 years at Brookdale. So we had our first studio, first year of studios, we had our second years of studio. And for me, I was able to jump right into the third year of studio. And I remember when I brought my portfolio, which was the other thing that was great about Brookdale, and also just Ed, the professor, who helped us develop our portfolio and make it a strong portfolio. A professor at NJIT sat down with me and he was looking through the portfolio. He said to me, he goes, everything that I see in this portfolio is just as strong as any of the students that started at NJIT in the first and second year. So for me, that was great to hear that, everything that happened at Brookdale was a great foundation to, further your career.
We are currently going to Pratt in Brooklyn, both of us. We did just get accepted. The things that they do there are amazing. They output so many great things, but they're along the same lines of what comes out of Brookdale. We've worked on projects that, our final project was essentially a second, third year project at Pratt or any other school. We put the same amount of work into that as anyone else did in any other schools, and we're given the same tools to do this.
It's nice to come back to Brookdale to see how the program has continued to grow over the years. When we started out in the program, it was much smaller. It was actually part of the drafting program, and it evolved into really a fully accredited architecture program that has many more resources. There's many more opportunities for the students to learn and to really build a foundation for when they're going to transfer to a 5-year, 4-year architecture program to receive their Bachelor of Architecture.
When I started the program almost 20 years ago, that was the goal. The goal was to provide personal attention to individual needs because we knew we would have a very diverse group of students coming in. We wanted to embrace that diversity, celebrate it, and then push people into areas where we thought that they could excel.
I'm Dan Schroll, Professor of Graphic Design at Brookdale Community College. Graphic design, I use the example sometimes for students who may be sitting at a table, and I'll pick up a small sugar packet and explain that a graphic designer does that. And from that small packet, anything up to a huge billboard. It's a visual communication tool. We're all involved in it. We all are guided by it. It's a huge field. There are many, many different options a student can have and go into and feed from as long as they start with the basic fundamentals of the graphic design profession, which we offer here at Brookdale Community College.
Hi, my name is Colin Caney, and I'm a graphic design student at Brookdale Community College. Everything that was available for us, the computers, the programs, everything were amazing. I mean, it made it so much easier because everything was just right there for us to use, and it made everything that we did a lot easier.
Hi, my name is Gabriela Sheps. I'm a current student at Brookdale, and I'm taking classes on the graphic design program. I have a background in graphic design back in South America. I was going to school and I was looking for, returning to school, and this was a convenient school for me, pretty close to my house, and they have a program that I can do it.
We have two options in the graphic design program. We have an AAS degree, which leads to a terminal degree that puts the student right into the industry after graduating from Brookdale, which quite a number of students have done and have become extremely successful. We have the other option, the AA degree, which is a transfer degree, which I encourage students to participate in. It enables them to transfer to a 4-year art school or college or university further their studies in the more conceptual part of graphic design?
I got an internship through Dan Schroll, my professor. I got it at the end of this past semester, and it was redesigning the layout of the brochure for a group out of St. Barnabas Hospital called the Institute for Prevention. It's turning out to be amazing. I can't wait to see the finished printed product. So, on top of that, it's the first thing that I've done that'll be printed, that'll be distributed with my work on it, and I'm very excited because a lot of people, I don't know how many, but a lot of people will see that. So, it'll be very exciting to know that my work is somewhere circulating around and everyone gets to see it.
It's an exciting program. The opportunities are tremendous. Now's the time to really look at a career in a field like this because of the vast potential that it offers. And not just graphic design, but peripheral subjects like illustration, typography, printing. There's many different aspects of the field that are outside of what's called graphic design, but is a very strong part of doing this as a career.
Hi, my name is Claudia Chera. I'm a graphic design student and photography major in Brookdale Community College. I have a lot of freelance work coming in because of my graphic design teacher. He was really great on always promoting me and giving me, people that I can call, and they gave me work. And for me, in a sense, it's great that I changed my whole career into the graphic design department, because if you really have a passion for it, you always have work. You always have work.
There's a great program. Come and see it. You have to believe in your possibilities, and you will love it here. You will really like it here. So come on in.
Students make the program. The students really go far beyond the normal workload and contribute outside of class and really make the program what it is. A very strong program. I think we give a very, very strong fundamental background, kind of nuts and bolts foundation, and they do a really good job.
My daughter was born premature, and the hospital's respiratory therapist saved her life. When the economy crashed, we moved back to New Jersey for my husband's career, but nobody was hiring drama teachers. So I joined the respiratory therapy program at Brookdale. It's a great field with job security, and you can be there for people who really need you. My name is Joriel Miller, and I came to Brookdale to change my career. I never imagined I could help save a life.
I went to college right after high school, but it didn't work out. After a few years in the workforce and the birth of my son, I decided to give college another try. At Brookdale, something clicked. I met amazing professors and found a major I was passionate about. I made the dean's list, landed a great internship, and now I'm pursuing my bachelor's degree. Thanks to Brookdale, I have what it takes to see my dreams through. I'm Tara Boyce, and I came to Brookdale to give college another try. I never imagined I would find my passion.
I like to rise before the sun, simply for the pleasure of greeting the sun when she rises. As the mist thins and the hungry insects crack the glassy water, toads croak, osprey dive, and sometimes I remember why I came here in the first place.
In just a few short months, tens of thousands of visitors will spend part of their summer along the sandy white beaches of Belmar. Besides catching some rays, many of them will also be catching some cool tunes Thursday nights, enjoying 90.5 The Nights Songwriters on the Beach concerts. This free concert series, located on the Fifth Avenue Boardwalk along the panoramic Atlantic Ocean in Belmar, brings a beach full of music lovers throughout the summer. If you'd like to have your company's message in front of an audience that is well-educated, affluent, and community-minded, then now is the time to secure your involvement. Email Kristen at kflorio@wbjb.org for more information on this affordable sponsorship opportunity.
And welcome back inside the Collins Arena. Brian Gadsworth, Tim Catalfamo with you here on Brookdale TV. This the second game of our doubleheader. As we saw a blowaway in the first game, the women's team coming out on top, and now the men looking to make it a Jersey Blue sweep here to close out the month of January and go down the stretch in the final 7 games, as only February remains on the regular season schedule for the Jersey Blues.
Yeah, and like I said, we talked to Coach Chizak prior to the game. I mean, obviously, we still got 20 minutes of play left in this one, but as it stands right now, Brookdale's pretty much in control. We were talking to him before the game. He feels that this team can win out if they play well. So that's certainly something that should have the rest of the teams in this conference kind of quaking in their boots, because I'm looking at this right now as a team that could potentially contend not only for the region tournament championship, but possibly qualify and contend for the national championship.
Carter's jumper is short. Offensive rebound. Parrish denied on the inside by Ringel. Blocked a second time as Little was in there. And Brookdale with great defense on the first possession of the second half. Now they advance it across midcourt with Harris. Brookdale has Kirkwood, Harris, Olakani, Ringel, and Little. So Olakani didn't start this game, but had a very good first half. He's out there to start this second half. He goes to the rim and lays it home.
Yeah, Zach Olakani has had a very nice game. He's been coming off the bench the last few games, but has contributed quite a number of points in this first half, and now in the second half picking up right where he left off.
Carter misses on the other end. Kirkwood's pass was tipped. Ringel grabs control of it, but it's going the other way. Offensive fouls. Ringel thought he may have had an and one opportunity, but it goes Atlantic Cape's direction.
Yeah. Yeah, let's take a look at this because Coach Chizak's very upset. Watch this, Brian. Ooh, I don't know.
Looks like more of a flop than anything else.
We saw something similar in the first half where Wimbish did something almost identical, where I think it was Sky Harris who was going at him and there was no call, but unfortunately there Ringel picks up the personal.
Ringel defending on Carter, who drives inside. Bobo gets to it, and Chris Bobo will go to the line. So we'll see who picked this foul up. It is the second called on Matt Ringel. And so the freshman, who comes from Clayton, North Carolina, goes to the free throw line and makes the first attempt. So these big three, so to speak, for Atlantic Cape, they're all freshmen. There's only 2 sophomores on the roster. And Bobo's had as many as 28 points in a game this season, that coming against Middlesex. Kirkwood for Harris. Nice spin with the left hand, lays it in.
And that's
what a move by Sky Harris.
Yeah, that's why Sky Harris is so hard to defend, because he's so versatile and can move so quickly off the dribble. There's nothing a whole lot you can do in your situation like that if you're Atlantic Cape and you're defending Sky Harris.
Smith the hard drive, and he gets it to go. A nice lefty finish for Austin Smith. And with that, a timeout taken by the Jersey Blues. Just about 2 minutes gone by here in the first half. And we will keep it here for this timeout. Take a look at the standings from around the Region 19, and you'll see there Brookdale is third, behind only Passaic and Ocean. And remember, a win under their belt against Passaic, which we saw in our last broadcast.
Yeah, they took down Passaic. Now, they lost to Ocean back on the 15th of December by a score of 86-83. So they still have to play Ocean. Those are one of the home games that we have coming up over the next couple of days. But yeah, you mentioned, Brian, Brookdale took down Passaic pretty handily a couple weeks ago before they went on this road trip. So they're competing right at the top echelon. Right now, it's all about seeding. So if Brookdale continues to win, particularly now that they've beaten Passaic, and if they beat Ocean, they'll be near that top of the standings as we get to Region 19 tournament time.
Loose ball picked up by Carter. He starts the break. Smith, nice look inside. Shot no good by Parrish. Knocked out of bounds. Who touched it last? And it is Atlantic Cape. The ball belongs to Brookdale. Now the Jersey Blues, a conference record of 11-4. As Olakani drives in and gets it to go. And the lead is 19 for Brookdale, the largest of the night, 52 to 33. Last meeting, Brookdale led by just 1 at the half, and then was outscored in the second half. Wound up losing a close game as Ringel gets the rebound. Kirkwood the other way. Nice hesitation drive. Can't finish it. Rebound to Carter. Long pass ahead. Bobo able to catch. Missed. Rebound Ringel. Back and forth they go. Kirkwood for Harris. Spots up. It's a 3. And Sky Harris buries it.
Yeah, Miles Carter cannot leave Sky Harris unguarded like that. If he knocks that down wide open like that, 9 times out of 10, he's going to knock it down easily. So Miles Carter's got to do a better job of closing out on Sky Harris.
And the three-point ball has become a big part of Sky Harris's game. One of the reasons he has been on an offensive tear the last 10 games or so. Carter kicks it out. Bobo lines it up, in and out, tipped around, and it comes to Parrish. Smith was able to find Wimbish. So Atlantic Cape doing a good job on the offensive glass. This the third opportunity of this possession. High screen Smith. Carter, and he's fouled. It'll be on the floor, and it will be on Sky Harris. So for Harris, it's his first. Brookdale's third team foul of the second half.
Look at this, Brian. We got a balloon coming down from the ceiling. Oh, there we go. That's the end of that.
Well, I think Sky Harris just popped it. So he can pop the jumper and pop balloons, too.
That's one way to handle that situation. That was actually pretty clever, Brian. I like that.
Once in a while, you can get a good one.
Yeah. Where did that balloon come from anyway? I mean, my gosh.
I don't know. Pass inside. Carter with the left hand. Ringel the rebound. And now Bobo able to get it back on the steal. Carter pump fake on Ringel. Able to find Bobo. Missed it short, but he is going to the line. So Bobo shoots free throws well, 77% on the season. Foul is called on Kirkwood. The fouls again are a part of the story as the Jersey Blues had picked up 4 in this half. And we saw in the game against Passaic, they had at least 10 in both halves. So that's something that typically is a part of Jersey Blue games. Right now, though, they're working with a 20-point lead. Little in the paint. The hook shot doesn't go, and the rebound snatched by Parrish. Ahead of the floor, Smith hooks a pass outside. Wimbish, long 2-pointer, and no, they call it a 3. So Wimbish drills it. Kirkwood, the crossover. Baseline jumper, he sticks it. Good pace to start the second half. Wimbish again. Wow. Yes! Najee Wimbish, back-to-back 3-pointers for the Buccaneers.
Wimbish, I tell you, didn't expect that coming from him.
Harris a 3 of his own, way short. Saved by Little, deflected out off Atlantic Cape.
Wimbish only comes into this game, Brian, shooting 25% from behind the 3-point line. He's made 2 in a row. And now you're starting to see how good Brookdale was in the first half. Atlantic Cape has picked up their offense. They're hanging with Brookdale. Because Brookdale built up such a good lead in the first half, Brookdale's really kind of just maintaining and padding their lead as opposed to really playing Atlantic Cape back and forth.
As Ringel was denied on the inside, he was looking for a foul. But the officials don't blow the whistle. There's 16 on the shot clock. Kirkwood the inbounder. Ringel, good position down low for the easy bucket. Good execution on the out-of-bounds play. And Brookdale back up by 18. Bobo defended by Olakani. 10 to shoot. Wimbish launches. Too strong from 3. Knocked out of bounds, and it's going the other way. So Marvin Graham, the head coach for Atlantic Cape, yelling on that last possession, but it's Jersey Blue basketball. About 6 minutes gone by in the second half. Kirkwood, oh, what a move, but he couldn't finish. And how about the rebound and the score on the inside by Little? Olakani came up with it while laying down. That was an amazing play. Winbish will back it out.
Yeah, Olakani just got lucky. He was knocked down. He just kind of, ball landed in his hands. All he had to do was just hand it to Little.
All he needed was a pillow. Baseline, Little defending. And off the rim, the shot no good by Bobo. Rebound Harris. Kirkwood pushing. Kirkwood taking it all the way to the rim. Follow-up jam by Little. Couldn't throw it down. Ringel underneath. Blocked on the inside, but a foul is called. And it looks like Miles Carter, who came up with the block, he thought it was a clean rejection, but he picks up his second. Ringel to the free throw line.
But again, just a lot of people underneath the basket for Brookdale, fighting for that rebound, getting second and third chance opportunities. I've said that quite a bit tonight, and it's because that's where Brookdale is really being able to keep padding their lead, keep putting points on the board. It's not so much that their shots have been all that great tonight, it's that they've been rebounding really well and getting second opportunities. And if they don't get it, they get to the line and they score there.
62-41, Jersey Blues with the advantage. Winbish flips it up and in. How about the scoop motion by Najee Winbish?
Yeah, I don't even think Winbish really put much stock in it. He just kind of just chucked it up there and somehow kissed off the glass and in.
Now, Winbish has been impressive. Kirkwood gets hacked on his way to the rim. And so Kerry Kirkwood to shoot two for Brookdale. Second team foul against Atlantic Cape. Kerry Kirkwood having a strong all-around season in his sophomore year. He does a little bit of everything. He scores 8.1 a game, but the leading facilitator as well. Just under 6 assists. He recently had a 10-assist game, as here comes a whole new group led by Bradshaw, Gatling, Jordan Hernandez. Ringel, Harris, Olakani check out. James Wright is in as well. So Wright was not in the original starting lineup. That kind of surprised us, but not in to start the second half. 1 out of 2 from the line, rebound to Parrish. Atlantic Cape with the ball down 20. Winbish the drive, and he's fouled.
Yeah, Winbish has really been a presence in the second half. Had a pretty quiet first half, but so far Atlantic Cape has looked to him to try to put some points on the board, and he's done that. Between the threes and driving to the basket, being a presence on the defensive end, Winbish has had a very good second half, something that I'm sure the Bucks would have liked to have had in the first half.
He comes in averaging just under 5 points per game, but he's working on a good performance in this game, a sophomore out of Atlantic City. As Keyshawn Kirkwood, the one change for the Jersey Blues. And it's 2 free throws for Winbish. Kirkwood watched by Bobo, able to get it across. Hernandez will take the 3, and it's rebounded by Smith. Pushing back the other way, the Buccaneers. This is Dow. He gives it up, back for Smith. Stripped from behind by Hernandez. Picked up again by Hendricks. And a little out of control on both ends, but Brookdale ends up with it off the steal. Gatling coasting to the rim for 2. So possession went back and forth a few times, and Brookdale on the fast break gets the transition basket. Timeout is taken by the Buccaneers with 12:02 left to play, second half, and Brookdale leading by 20. And we'll take another look at the last play here. And it was Gatling, who so often in transition comes away with the finishes. And we'll keep it right here. Brian Kautzer with Tim Catalfamo, and after a slow start for Brookdale today, they really have played a strong all-around game.
Yeah, they have. I mean, they've been all over the place on the offensive and defensive end. I've mentioned many times the rebounding, the nice job that they're doing underneath there, underneath the glass, fighting for it. That's an area that Atlantic Cape has struggled to really get their arms around. But just in general, Brookdale's just playing really well. They just have an advantage. It's just not one thing in particular. It's just as a whole, Brookdale just has a little bit of an advantage in every category as opposed to Atlantic Cape, and that's really been the difference tonight.
We're just about set for action outside the timeout, and Brookdale currently leading by 20. Looking to snap a mini 2-game losing streak. Those 2 losses came in a tournament down in Maryland. 2 tough losses to Howard and Montgomery Community as Hendricks fires short from 3. Rebound Kirkwood, ahead Hernandez, couldn't catch it cleanly. And now he drives to the rim. Nice look inside. Bradshaw off the glass and in.
And smart play by Hernandez to give it off. He didn't really have the shot. He saw Bradshaw in position, and Bradshaw was able to execute.
Now Atlantic Cape slowing down the pace even though they trail by a wide margin. Spinning is Smith. Flips it up with the left hand, and it's out of bounds over to the Jersey Blues.
Out of bounds, Jersey Blues basketball.
Now, one thing that was interesting to hear when we heard from Marvin Graham, the head coach for Atlantic Cape, was he said he loves playing in this building. He said he looks forward to games here at the Collins Arena. As in traffic, Kirk would know. Back the other way come the Bucks. Bobo, it's for 3. Side of the rim, rebounded by Wright. Bradshaw going around Bobo, now kicks it back out. And Brookdale will get set up here. 67-45, Jersey Blues. Wright, the crossover, series of moves, and he finishes. What a strong move by James Wright. Wright, who was statistically the leading scorer for Brookdale, averaging just over 14 a game. Dow kicks it to the corner. Hendricks short. Kirkwood got knocked to the ground. Possession gets back with the Buccaneers, and the finish inside. It's Austin Smith.
Yeah, that time defense kind of collapsed underneath the basket for Brookdale. Half of the players were down on the other end expecting someone to come away with the rebound, and the difference was there was nobody there. So that's why Atlantic Cape was able to get that basket.
Kirkwood. Oh, what a rejection by Wimbish. Ahead of the floor, Smith. Wright will commit the personal foul as the basket is good and one. Austin Smith, a chance for 3. Wright went down hard. Good effort to get back in transition, but no matter as Smith able to finish.
Yeah, it's definitely a foul, but one of the things that's interesting about that is Wright's walking away after that play, holding his wrist almost as if he jammed it somehow when he was falling to the ground.
Hernandez, bullet feed inside. Bradshaw missed, and it's out of bounds. No, we're down to 9:42 left in the second half. Second game of our Brookdale TV doubleheader. And looking to make it a Jersey Blue sweep. Bobo the miss. Rebound by Bradshaw. Kirkwood for Hernandez, and he lays it up and in with the left hand.
Jordan Hernandez has had a very nice couple of games. He had a really nice game against Passaic a couple of weeks ago where he was one of the leading scorers. So Jordan's been pretty good off the bench this year as well. I mean, you look down the line at this Brookdale team, I think that's what sets them apart from some of the other teams in this conference. It's that if one player goes down, someone else can step up, and if they are given the opportunity and they're on their game, can make it count.
Yeah, one strength that they have is their depth, and that it doesn't have to be one guy. Right in and out, Gatling, and Wimbish trying to save it, but he just spikes it out of bounds. And who are they going to say the ball belongs to? It clearly was off Atlantic Cape. Now the officials will huddle up and discuss it, and I think correctly award the ball to the Jersey Blues.
Yeah, that was clearly a spike there by Wimbish, so I'm surprised that the officials didn't get it right the first time, but they did correct it, so that's good. We've seen that at different times this year where there have been calls that we've been able to see up here in the broadcast booth that some of the officials have not been able to see, where to us it's been obvious, but hasn't always been made the call proper on the court.
Count the basket and one for Kyle Bradshaw. Chance for a three-point play. Foul is committed by Parrish. That's his second and the team's third. No, Brookdale rolling again on their home floor. It seems like we haven't gotten many close games to do, but that's just what happens when they play here at the Collins Arena. A miss by Dow, offensive rebound. Carter missed it on the reverse, and then a foul on the interior. It's on Brookdale.
Yeah, something about this arena where this team just is almost unbeatable. I mean, they're undefeated at home this year. The men's team is, and as it stands right now, they're cruising to yet another victory. So it's just been really, really impressive to watch this team, not just this season, but over the last several years.
Now Carter had the monster game back in December, 40 points. He got off to a good start in this game, but Brookdale's done a pretty good job defensively on him. He got to the free throw line 18 times in the last meeting. And as he splits the pair from the line, and quickly ahead is Wright.
Yeah, and you remember Miles had that bloody nose early in the game. Ever since from that point on, he's really never quite been the same. So I don't know if that's affecting him at all, or it's just been something that's kind of taken him off his game. But ever since that point in the early portion of the first half, Miles Carter has really not been a threat for Brookdale on the offensive end.
Brookdale keeps possession. Wright inbounding. Hernandez on the drive. Bradshaw the offensive rebound. Loose ball picked up by Hernandez. Gatling, nice hook pass inside. Count it and one again. And it's Kyle Bradshaw underneath for Brookdale. What a setup by Gatling.
And that's just the way that you continue a play. Even if you don't make the basket, Hernandez had a great drive. Watch this, Gatling, look, he didn't even look at Bradshaw. He knew he was there. He gives him the basket and the finish.
Free throw is good, and Brookdale is up 77-50. Carter, the scoop layup, gets it to go. Nice move to the rim by the Buccaneer leading scorer. Hernandez had the pass go off his hands. Brookdale looking to force the issue, but going a little too quickly on that possession, they turn it over. 8 minutes left to go, second half. Hendricks able to get around Wright. Good help defense. Gatling swats it away. And possession stays with Atlantic Cape. And in fact, it is a free throw opportunity for Deshaun Hendricks. Foul goes on Gatling. It's his second. 8th team foul for Brookdale. That means 1 and 1. I guess it was a two-shot foul. Hendricks makes the first. Now, Hendricks, one of just 2 sophomores on the roster. He has not played much at all this season. But he's in here in a lopsided game. Brookdale 77, Atlantic Cape 53.
And Gatling's only played in 5 games this whole year. He was on the roster to begin the year, but was not able to play because of a couple of rules regulations that the NJCAA had with the team. So Brookdale was only able to get him in the second half of the year, but he's definitely been a major force that Brookdale's happy to have.
Parrish finishes. Fast break basket, and now Brookdale will turn it over. So getting a little bit sloppy here, working with a big lead. But Atlantic Cape trying to see if they can slice into this deficit. Outside for Dow. Wimbish way off. And Brookdale gets the ball back.
Yeah, that's an uncharacteristic miss for Wimbus. He had a clean look at the basket. It wasn't like he was contested or anything, but just completely missed that shot.
Now Atlantic Cape showing some pressure in the back court. But I think it's going to be too little too late as Wright beats it easily. His pull-up jumper, too strong. Offensive rebound to Hernandez. And a reset for Brookdale. Wright working on Parrish, and he'll go to the line.
And again, they just keep fighting, keep trying to grip those rebounds, trying to get to the basket, attack that rim. That's where all these fouls are really being racked up by Atlantic Cape. Brookdale's going to the free throw line. They're knocking down some foul shots, but more importantly than that, they're preventing the Buccaneers from getting any rebounds at all. As you see that last shot there by Wright is going to go to the foul line. But still, great job by Brookdale rebounding as a whole in this game.
It's the third personal on Parrish. Wright struggles at the line, just 53%. Hendricks able to save it, nearly lost it. Hanging in the air, Dow. Bradshaw comes up with it and he gets fouled. And I think Dow made the contact on Bradshaw. And that is his third personal, 6th against the Buccaneers in the second half. So you look going forward here for Brookdale. Their next game is going to be at Mercer, but that game doesn't really matter much in terms of the standings because it's a club team. But then after that, some interesting games as they face some of the competitive teams. Nice drive and the finish by Wright. But Paul Chisak, as I think you said earlier, he believes his team can run the table the rest of the way.
Well, certainly they feel that they can contend with teams like Sussex and even Middlesex County College. Those are the two remaining games, with the exception of that Mercer County College game that you were just talking about, Brian, that Brookdale has remaining on the schedule that are road games. The rest of them they have at home. The one thing that I'm going to be looking for, Brookdale goes on the road, like I said, they play Mercer and they play Sussex this week. But then they come back home this time next week, next Tuesday, to play Union County College at 6 p.m. That's going to be a really tough game because Union has been one of the toughest teams to play over the last several years in this arena. They travel really well. They usually have a pretty good team. They're very high up-tempo offense like we saw Atlantic Cape in this game early on. And Brookdale, for the couple opening minutes, wasn't really able to get a handle on it, even though they settled in later on. So that's a game that I'm looking at in particular. And, of course, Ocean, they're second in the standings. That's the second to last game that Brookdale has on the schedule for the regular season. So Brookdale feels that they can run the table, and I wouldn't put it past them, but it's not definitely going to be easy.
Hernandez gets his own miss, goes back up, the tip in, the follow again, and finally it drops in the bucket as it was James Wright going above the rim to put that one home for the Jersey Blues. As Paul Chisak is set to empty his bench at the next whistle. Down to 5.5 left to go. Parrish, the lefty, finish. So it's Olakani, Harris, Whipple, and Kirkwood. That's Kerry who will check in at the next dead ball. Keyshawn Kirkwood out to Bradshaw, drives in, nice move, and the finish off the glass. But they don't get back in transition. Easy basket for Parrish on the other end. And it was Miles Carter who got off to a good start for Atlantic Cape, but Parrish has had a very good game as well. 83-60, Brookdale. Right, the drive, lefty, gets it to go.
You know, that was a nice play, actually, by Brookdale. Again, Atlantic Cape's playing a man-to-man defense. Sometimes what you do, particularly when you have someone like Wright, you spread your team out all over the floor, you leave the middle open, and then you have a guy who can drive to the basket very easily.
Parrish able to track it down. Wimbish, he's got it. And a timeout taken by Brookdale with 4:13 left to play here at the Collins Arena. We will take a break right now. Be back here on Brookdale TV.
Young Lee, Colts Lake High School, guard.
My name is Kyle Bradshaw. I'm a guard from Massachusetts High School.
It's Ray Gatlin, Patterson Eastside, small forward.
James Wright, Ewing High School, shooting guard.
Zachary Olukani, Teaneck High School, guard.
Dante Whipple, Old Bridge High School, small forward.
Samson Oriana Tolo, Madison Regional High School, forward.
Arena, Brian Goudsward, Tim Catalfamo. Final 4 minutes left to play here in the second game of our doubleheader. And Brookdale didn't lead from start to finish, but they have been in control most of the way. Olakani the basket. And Brookdale is on its way to improving to 14-8 on the season. And ranks them 3rd place in the Region 19, behind only Passaic and Ocean. Wimbish is left open, way off that time rebound Harris. Harris, thinking about going coast to coast, had it poked away. Whipple inside, Orianitolo called for a travel. So Orianitolo is in for the first time. Whipple is in for the first time since the first half. Smith couldn't track it down. It's back to Brookdale.
Yeah, Whipple started the game, but then he came out very quickly, and we really hadn't seen him very much. Orianitolo, of course, a player that we've seen a couple times this year, but really haven't seen for the most part in the regular part, like for the majority part of the game, in the first and second half. Usually he'll come in when the game is pretty much finished, but it's nice to see him on the floor.
So timeout on the floor right now with 3:24 left to go. And there you see the upcoming schedule that we were talking about earlier. Mercer on Thursday, that's a road game against a club team. At Sussex, they're the bottom team in the conference. And then you got Union and Middlesex, those obviously are good teams. And then they close it out with 3 straight at home. And no matter who they play at home, you favor this Brookdale team because of how dominant they have been here.
Absolutely. I mean, the way that they've been playing, like I said, here's an interesting stat for you. You want a nugget? I'll give it to you. Since 2010-2011, this basketball team, the men's team, at home is 85-14 overall. That's a winning percentage of 86% at home over the past 5 seasons. That's unbelievable.
So the 5 on the floor to reset the lineup. It's Kerry Kirkwood, Whipple, Harris, Orianitolo, and Olakani. Whipple goes behind the back. 5 to shoot, spinning in the lane, and he gets the roll. Soft touch for Whipple.
Yeah, Brookdale in this game is approaching the 100-point mark, which is something I don't think we were expecting. And from by the numbers, I don't think we were expecting this game to be that much in favor of Brookdale.
Here's Dow for 3, and the rebound is to Olakani. Atlantic Cape gives up 80.5 points per game, so that's a pretty good number, but Brookdale even more than that. And we'll see if they can crack triple figures, as this will go the other way. Offensive foul is called on Whipple. And that's his first. 10th team foul against Brookdale. And it'll be back-to-back lopsided defeats for Atlantic Cape, as they lost by 29 points in their last game. And this one they trail by 27. Carter will go to the line. Orianitolo picks it up, and Carter, 76% free throw shooter at the line.
Yeah, Miles Carter, we've talked about him having a little bit of a down game. That was something that at the beginning of the year, Coach Graham actually told the team's website for Atlantic Cape that he thought Miles was going to be a star on this team, and he certainly is. So you look at the number of points that he averages coming into this game, but certainly just has not quite had the night that I think Atlantic Cape would have liked to have had him have, and certainly they've struggled really without him as a presence on the offensive side and without getting a whole lot of points.
Whipple leading the break. Olakani tried the follow-up dunk. Whipple gets to it, stolen from behind by Smith. Smith to the rim, high off the glass, doesn't go. And the follow is good by Parrish. And we got a whistle right after that basket. I'm not quite sure what that was about. But this Brookdale team, 7 games left in the regular season, and then it's on to the tournament after that. And if they're able to run the table, they likely would get a first-round bye in that tournament starting late February. Whipple, the up and under. Orianitolo keeps it alive. 7 to shoot. Kirkwood's 3. Whipple got knocked nearly out of bounds. Now he drives toward the rim, puts it in, and a foul is called. Whipple would just not be denied. He took a couple of shots, but right to the rim he goes. And Brookdale has put up 93 points, and even minute to go, and another romp here at the Collins Arena.
And I think you said this earlier, Brian, that despite being up by so many points, we've seen Brookdale do this sometimes at home this year with the men and even the women. They don't slack off in any way. They keep going to the final buzzer. They don't back off or in any way call off the dogs. They're going to the very last second on offense.
Carter gives it up. Dow's pass picked off by Orianitolo. Whipple's pass was stolen by Carter. Ahead is Smith. Lost it trying to throw it down, then he missed. And then Parrish able to clean up the spill. That was rather unusual. Smith just kind of lost the handle.
Wow, I'm surprised actually Olakani didn't have a double dribble there. I thought he dribbled before he had possession of that ball. So.
Now he dribbles it off his foot. So 20.1 left before Brookdale makes this one official. And they have not lost here at the Collins Arena since last season. Wimbish misses, Orianitolo the rebound, and that will wrap things up from the Collins Arena in the final 10 seconds as Kirkwood for Whipple. And the final tally tonight will be Brookdale 94 and Atlantic Cape 67. As these two teams split the season series, Brookdale fell in a close one back in December. This one, though, was pretty much one-sided start to finish, as all smiles for Brookdale on the handshake line, and another resounding performance here at the Collins Arena as they win this one by 27 points. And you really just kind of run out of things to say with the performances time and time again that they come away with here at home.
Yeah, I mean, there was really not a whole lot to say. From the very beginning, from the opening tip, Brookdale didn't really have control of the game, but they certainly showed a lot of up-tempo offense. Atlantic Cape hung around, as we said, at halftime. But really, from about the midway point of the first half on, it almost seems with this team that it takes them at least 8 or 9 minutes to really kind of adjust and get into the game. Once they do that, though, they're extremely dangerous. We've seen at home this year particularly how quick they can get out to a lead and how they're able to maintain the lead. And then once they have a lead, sometimes by 20 points, they're able to put more onto that. So it's just been incredible to watch this team. They've done a really nice job, I feel, this year of rebounding the ball and getting second and third chance opportunities, which we said many times. We've seen teams come in here and have not been able to rebound the ball, and you see the end result. But this team this year, just, like I said, Coach Chuzak told us early in the game they can possibly run the table and get to the end winning going into the tournament. They very well might, because with the way that they're performing, I wouldn't put it past them.
So the Jersey Blues will hit the road for the next 2 games. Then they'll be back here at the Collins Arena 1 week from today, and that will be our next broadcast here on Brookdale TV. So we thank everyone for tuning in today. For Tim Catalfamo and our entire Brookdale TV crew, I'm Brian Goudsward. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you 1 week from tonight. Have a good night, everyone.